So what I thought we'd do today is we have our marketing manager, Chloe, with us. I wanted to go through a little bit about setting up your business on socials. I think this would be great for our students, but also anyone in the beauty industry looking to tackle the online world of social media. Chloe, welcome.
Welcome to me. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming onto the podcast.
I'm always in the background because I am a part of the social media. I'm like hovering over there during the podcast. So it's a different one being in the seat finally.
I know. And you're always the one that's always preparing our hot or not, keeping us up to trend. So we love you for that. Thank you.
Trendsetter in the office.
Absolutely. So Chloe, tell us about your role here at the Australian Beauty School.
So my role is obviously managing our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook. And typically if you have someone DM you saying like, hey, I love your work, can we share it? It's me. And I love having little chats with our students. And I think it's so nice to see, I really get to experience the full circle. So I get to see these girls starting their Instagram pages. I get to see like, you know, maybe they've like tagged the beauty school, and then I'll see in our messages like, oh, that girl messaged me 6 months ago being like, hey, I'm interested in your course. And it's so cool to now see that that person's graduated and they've started their own business, and you know, they've been able to quit their day job. Maybe they're a stay-at-home mum. So it's really nice to see the flexibility that our courses now offered these people in their everyday lives.
It's so rewarding. And it sounds kind of a bit frivolous, but social media is a really great way to keep up with our students, what they're up to. And I always say this to our students as well, but their success is really our success too. And also I think we take a really personal stance when it comes to that as well.
Yeah.
Like I know us on the beauty team, we really take ownership of all of our students, and we really try and share in what they're going through, because we've been there ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we might be, myself, 16 years in the industry, but I've been there setting up my first business, not knowing what to do on social. So I'm glad that you're here to answer some questions for us.
Nice.
First of all, if someone wants to set up a social media account on socials, what's the best way to go about it?
You need to establish your brand before just jumping in and doing it. So one of the things would be deciding what brand colors you're going to go with, and then also maybe a super basic logo. I mean, you can make up something yourself on Canva, but it's just so you can then, once you start kicking off posting, your grid's going to start looking very like uniformed, cohesive, and work together and cohesive. If you've got, say, 2 brand colors, you can have your one main brand color and like 5 accent colors, but just as long as you stick to your colors, stick to your logo, and then it all starts to look very professional from the get-go. I think you need to also just be sure, once you've signed up to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, that you start like a posting cadence. I think a lot of people from the get-go might not have that many clients, but you can repurpose content as much as you like. So say you do a look on your mum or something, just get as many videos as you can, get as many photos as you can, and just like keep repurposing that content. Do like random one nail looks on your finger and just keep that cadence going. I think when you drop off is when things can start, your algorithm can start to slow down, and things might not be pushed out to the general public as much.
And to the audience that needs to see it, right?
Yeah. I think also just down the track, having a link tree with an easily accessible booking system.
There's so many great ones.
There's so many. It might cost a little bit. So if you're not really looking into spending money from the get-go, if you just are very organized and you're working simply off DMs, you just need to be on top of it. You need to make sure you're not double booking. You need to make sure that you have something on your end, that you're really slotting out that time.
Yeah.
And also just on top of answering to people, because typically if someone's jumped onto your page and they're looking to book an appointment, people when booking beauty services, they really want instant gratification. It's like, oh, I need to get my lashes done now. Like, I want to book it right now.
Yeah.
And if you're waiting for someone to DM you for over 24 hours, you're probably going to go to someone else's site that's got a easy booking calendar that you can just book in straight away with, and you don't have to DM them.
There's lots of great ways to get that automated too. Like, I know a lot of our students want to start taking FPOS, for example. So they get the Square readers, which are excellent, and I've used them in my salons in the past before, but they now have a booking system that comes free when you purchase them as well.
Oh, really?
Which is awesome.
Amazing.
Also, there's a company called Fresher that does an amazing job. I don't know if
good.
Back in the day they used to be free, but I'm not sure now, so you guys have to look that up at home. But there's so many great booking systems that are either free, like the one that's associated with Square, or next to nothing. Yeah,
I think it's just such an affordable small thing that you can change that makes such a huge difference in capturing those customers from the minute they jump on to your socials and they love your work.
And when they jump onto our social media, say they've gone to your page or my page or even the Australian Beauty School page, is there a question that they're looking to have answered? Are they looking to almost have questions answered prior to even booking?
Yeah, so I think for beauty pages, the main thing would be is whether they're happy with the service that you offer. So I think it's all about showcasing a wide range of the services you can offer. I know for me, if I'm wanting to get my brows or my lashes done, I want to see that person can offer a range of like maybe a bolder look, or maybe hybrids, classics, maybe lashes with some color, maybe brown lashes for that more natural look, and then the different shapes of like cat eye, doll eye. So I think the biggest question that a lot of people come with on beauty pages is like, can you offer the service I'm looking for?
Yeah.
So you might have a niche that works for you. You might just be a mega volume lash artist, and that's absolutely fine. But you've made that clear from the content that you're posting that that's your niche. You just posted mega.
And in turn, you would then attract the clients that
and
want
you would attract
that
those type of people.
Super, full look, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So once we have attained the client, how do we then grow our platform? And is there a particular platform that is more effective at doing this than others?
So I would say definitely depending on your demographic. I think a lot of the older demographic tend to lean towards Facebook.
I would agree with that.
So I don't think it's not a dying platform. I think it's still worth posting on. There's lots of different posting platforms that you can get that you put your post into, and it'll automatically post on both Instagram and Facebook. So it's not too much double handling. You can just repurpose the content for both platforms. But Instagram will probably be your main one for growing your accounts and getting new clients. I also don't think TikTok should be excluded from the offering as well. I know that people are leaning more and more towards TikTok to actually find a good beauty artist.
Yeah.
I think you can look up like makeup artist Melbourne, and I think I was even looking into like getting like a lip lip blushing?
Oh yeah.
And I was like looking everywhere on Instagram. I couldn't really find anything, and I looked up lip blushing Melbourne on TikTok, and there were so many. So I think people are leaning towards it more. But in saying that, Instagram is just the hub for beauty businesses.
Because what we do is so visual and it's all about the look, right? And Instagram going off of photos with a small caption is really going to highlight the look.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, just making sure your hashtags are like location specific, because a lot of the time people are going to look up, say they live in Camberwell, and it's like lash artist Camberwell. So also putting your location in your posts. I think a lot of the time I can get on beauty pages, and from the minute of being on the page, you have no idea where this person is located. So having your location present from the get-go is super important. Having it up in your bio, having it readily available on your posts also then obviously has a domino effect of targeting people in those areas.
Yeah. How do you know what to post? Do you just copy the trend as it is? Do you make it your own? And when is the best time to post?
I think it's important, if you're just generally copying a trend from someone, that you've got to give them a shout out. I know people get super defensive about something if they've thought of it and it's their original idea. Just giving them a shout out, adding them in the comments. And it is super fleeting, so as quick as possible, obviously. I mean, a good example of what TikTok has done, I think there's recently this influencer went viral for a skincare prep, and he just did his skincare to that, like, you don't own me. I don't know if you've seen him. Anyway, in a couple weeks, he has blown up and he's walking in runways.
Oh my God.
For like high-end, I think he did Versace.
Stop.
And people are like fangirling over him.
I
He was
love
like
that.
walking out of shows and people taking photos with him. So it is really cool what TikTok can do for you and your business. Popular posting, like notoriously the most popular posting time is 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. That won't work for all businesses, but that is just like an overarching 6 p.m. on a Wednesday is the best posting time.
For most engagement.
Us, that's what I see typically. I can post on any other day, but 6 p.m. on a Wednesday just goes crazy.
It's wild.
I think it's that midweek kind of hump. People are always home. They're just scrolling, they're a bit bored, and it's just perfect time. People have finished work, they've probably just sat on the couch.
Might be on their commute even at that time.
Yeah, and it's not a typical night that people go out.
Yeah.
I think Thursday, Fridays are a little bit more quiet because they're normally like the dinner nights and people are doing things. Same as Saturday. So I think like your best days, Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night. People are home. They're chilling, they're scrolling through their feed. They're probably universally the best times to post.
That's a great
So
tip.
if you can be doing at least 3 posts a week to start, you don't want to saturate people's feed. I think a big misconception is like pumping out a post in the morning, a post in the evening. Say you've just followed this person and they're a new business startup, and then all of a sudden their posts are just all over your feed. You're probably going to be like,
I've unfollowed businesses because I've found that I find their posts become really annoying to me because I see them all the time.
Yeah. So I think that's exactly the strategy you need to go with. Is you don't want to be polarizing. You don't want to overwhelm people's feed. Because typically if they're following their friends, maybe their friends will post like twice a week or something. So if they're going through their feed, your post might be like back to back on their feed if you're posting twice a day.
Wild.
So less is kind of more, and also quality over quantity. So if you're not happy with the quality of the post and the lighting isn't very good, don't post it. Maybe pop it on your story. I think stories are so good for engagement. And if there's something that you're not super happy with, but you're like, I still like that set I did, then just pop it on your story, do a little highlight. But yeah, definitely quality over quantity with how much you're posting as well.
I see some, especially in the hair industry, where you become really close with your client. It's almost, there's some trends going around in the hair industry about your client, like talking badly about your clients.
Yeah.
And whilst the client might be complicit, I just don't think there's place for that in the industry.
I think that is a big thing. I think you really need to stay, as a business, you just need to stay Switzerland, non-controversial. Just like display your work, do the best service you can possibly do, and just
be a good person.
Yeah, I think you just need to stay professional, really. I think, of course, you can have opinions on things, but I think in that circumstance, it just sometimes can make you look bad and unapproachable. I think for me, if someone's posting about their client and they're posting like screenshots of their client saying, hey, I'm running late, or
this is not acceptable,
this isn't acceptable, and things
crazy.
like that, then I of course try not to do that, but like shit happens sometimes. Like sometimes you're late to an appointment, or sometimes life you need to cancel and life gets in the way. Like it happens to everyone.
I will say though, do have a really good cancellation policy in place.
Definitely. Oh, and if I cancel, I pay my cancellation fee. That's fine.
You know, that's and your client is aware of that at that stage too, because you'll have it on your highlights. You'll have it as part of your policies.
Yeah.
And it's not something that they're sort of sprung with.
Yeah.
And the other thing about that too is make sure that you're backing yourself up with your policies too, because no one else is going to advocate for you as a sole business owner.
No.
And as a sole trader. You have to advocate for yourself and your own policies.
Yeah, especially even if it's a friend or a client that you've had for ages. You just need to stick to your policies, because as soon as you are lenient with one person, then I think the line gets blurry for the rest. I think you just need to like have your policy and stick to it.
And
for
don't
everyone.
do things for free.
No, don't do things for free. That's like such a big habit that I think people get into from the start when they're learning, that they feel like the person is doing them a favor, letting them do like a not so great service because they're a beginner. But I think even charging $20 or anything, just product costs, just gets the ball kind of rolling for getting that confidence to charge.
I will have a price list for new clients, or new returning clients, just my general client list. I'll then have a price list for family and friends, and I'll also have a model price list.
Oh, nice.
So that my costs are always covered regardless of the circumstances. And it's kind of like writing a rule book for yourself. You know, and not wavering from the prices that you've set, because oftentimes, you know, a cousin will come up to me and say, oh my God, can you do my hair for me? And I'll be like, of course I can, babe, but you know, it's going to cost money. You know, I need to order the hair. It's also my time. And all of that kind of thing. So I think it's really important that as a sole trader, as a professional in the industry, that you've got that kind of set up.
Exactly. Yeah, making that clear from the get-go is important. That's a good tip.
Yeah. So speaking about professionalism, what kind of equipment will I need to take good content, like professional kind of content?
So this is a really good one. And obviously for me, I've just worked at the business side of things. I've never really had my own little startup. So this is just tips that obviously seeing all our students go through this process that I would recommend. From the get-go, the biggest thing is get a cheap ring light. Like, get it from Kmart, get a ring light. Lighting is so important. And I think a lot of the time I can see a really good service that someone's done, but the lighting just completely lets them down. It's like down lighting. It's just in a bedroom. The back is like someone's cupboard. I think where you stand is super important. Say you're doing a makeup look, as basic as possible. If you can just get a white background, no matter where you are, you can probably find white somewhere. So if you've gone to someone's house and you're offering the service, you could find white somewhere in their house. You could have your little ring light. You could connect it to your phone. You don't need any high-tech cameras or anything. iPhone is absolutely fine. Social media is always screaming for authenticity. So anything on the phone that's authentic, that's more than enough. The biggest thing is your background and your lighting. So if you're doing a service at home, have the image taken at the same place every time so your feed is consistent. And then, as I said, if you're going to another location, you can find a white wall anywhere.
In my first salon, I actually set up I just got it from Bunnings, and it was just like a curtain in the actual room.
Oh, yeah, nice. That's very professional.
And it was quite cheap at the time. I don't know what they're going for now, but it was quite cheap at the time, but it just made my photos really consistent on my grid. It made everything look super polished as well. And obviously having great lighting too really helped.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you imagine, so if you're taking a photo for your socials, you need to picture how that's going to look in your feed, and say the background has got green in it or it's got blue in it, but then your feed and your brand colors are pinky tones. It's all just going to clash. So keeping that in mind when you're taking your photos, I know a lot of lash or brow artists will be pretty cohesive because they'll have that kind of ring light already. And it's like always on the bed. So I think it's nice to get a mix of things. I've seen lash techs get some of like standing, and they'll get like a full scope of the lash, which is nice, but keeping the background pretty neutral. And making sure your lighting's nice.
The other thing too is a lot of our students, or a lot of people in the industry, want to just keep it focused on their work and not necessarily post themselves. What do you think about that?
I think so. For me, I've never been a big poster on Instagram, and I don't really like having my face on things. So if you don't feel comfortable posting yourself or interacting with your account, and you're not a big social media person, still do it. Still make a social media account. You don't have to post your face at all. You don't have to post your voice at all. You can just have it as a platform to showcase your work as much as possible.
Like a portfolio, working portfolio.
And I've seen some girls as well, a lot of our students will start getting some traction, and you can see their work is really improving and their clients are really coming through. And then they'll get the confidence to be like, hey, I wanted to put a face behind the lash tech or a face behind the nail artist. And they'll do like a little photo of themselves and an intro, and maybe they'll pin that as one of the first things you see when you jump on their page, with it, which I think that's really nice, because it shows that they've built the confidence to put a face behind the artist.
It also shows that authenticity too, right?
Yeah.
Because it's an authentic moment. Like, I want to get to know my followers.
Get to know my followers,
I want to know what you guys want to know from me, and all that kind of stuff. I think it can be nice too, but there's also no pressure.
Also no pressure at all. I think like some of the best accounts, you have no idea what that artist looks like.
One of my favorite accounts on Instagram has never, ever, ever, ever revealed her face. And she has more than 2 million followers, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So you just have no idea who she is.
No idea.
Yeah, I love that. You can do that. You don't have to showcase yourself. Just have it as a platform to showcase your work.
And how do I find the confidence to start? Posting is so daunting. Like, how do I just say to myself, let's go for it, let's post?
Yeah, I think that kind of stems back into not posting yourself. I think once you jump in and you create all your platforms, you've created your brand, no one knows who you are. So, I mean, worst case, if a bunch of people jumped on and were being like, hey, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, no one knows who you are. Just delete it. Start again.
That's true.
Like you can just go incognito mode. Just post as if you're posting for a brand, and treat it like it's a business, because it is.
But it also gives you the opportunity as a therapist or as somebody in the industry to think about things in a different light and see if it challenges your opinion. It may and it may not. Someone may say something to me about hair extensions, and I'll be like, I appreciate your opinion, but
you're not
I respectfully disagree.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with everything. No. And just because someone says, I don't like this, doesn't mean that it's not great.
And that's the thing. We've had so many times where we absolutely know something's amazing, but it just might not be one random person's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And they might just come in and be like, I hate that blue. You're like, okay.
Cool.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah. Thanks for
You're
sharing
like,
with the class.
Thanks. Like, I would never say that if I don't like something and just scroll
Just
past
scroll
it.
by. Like,
But yeah, people can be brutal on social media. And I think that's what makes it so daunting, because you're scared of getting that kind of negative feedback. But if you really just detach yourself, you're treating it like a business, you're growing your business, and you just jump into it.
amazing.
Yeah.
So to finish off, your final sort of sign off is just jump into it.
Just
Go
jump
for
into
it.
Go for it.
Don't take it so serious.
Don't take it so serious.
It's fun, right? It's meant to
fun.
be fun.
It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be like the best. Social media is the best free platform for small businesses. It's amazing.
Capitalize.
Like, it's so great that we have this at the tip of our fingers to start our own businesses. The fact that just anyone can be like, hey, I'm going to start a little business and do it.
Do you have any favorite accounts that you love to follow, that you like the content?
I think it's always our students. I'm just the
Yeah.
biggest fangirl for all our students.
You are the biggest cheerleader for all of our
I'm
students.
just always scrolling through the feed and I'm like, ah, that's amazing. And I'll just comment and be like, this is so stunning. Like, I think I'm just always just wanting to get their services done, but sometimes they'll be in like Adelaide or like I'm a fly there.
I said to my student the other day, can she do my lashes? And she's like, Antoinette, I'm in Sydney.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah, all the time. I'm just the biggest fangirl. They do such a good job, and
They do.
I love following them. I love talking to them. They're always the nicest people on the planet, and I think they're just so happy to be interacting with the school as well.
I feel like certain accounts make me compare my work to them. And I feel like this is very common with students too.
Totally.
What do you recommend for that? Should we follow them or should we unfollow them at that point?
I think you just take it as inspiration.
Yeah.
Really. Like, that's where I want to be in 6 months' time. That's where I want to be in a year's time. Don't set yourself unrealistic goals, because it's practice makes perfect. And you don't know how long that person's been practicing for.
And success is not linear, right? It's going to look different for every single person.
Yeah, exactly. You might have a weird dip where you think something looks really good and you end up doing that particular thing for like a month or and then you realize like, hey, that technique's not amazing. You switch that up and it changes the whole ball game.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you said, success is absolutely not linear. If it's really affecting you, unfollow those accounts. Like, if it's absolutely getting you down, like you can't get past it every time you see these posts, sure, unfollow it. But I think the best advice there would be take that as inspiration. Pluck little things from that person's work that you then want to recreate or work on yourself.
That's a great tip. Thanks, Chloe.
Thanks, Antoinette.
It was so great to have you on. You're so knowledgeable about this.
Yeah, I feel like social media there is no definitive answer. There is absolutely, like, I could give tips that might not work for someone's business. Every business is completely different. Trends are constantly changing. There's always new social platforms coming out. The algorithm always changes, so there's no definitive answer. It's super hit and miss. You really just need to test the waters, see what works for you, take some tips that I may have given and put them into place, and hopefully they can work for you.
Amazing. Well, I hope that the tips have helped today. Let us know in the comments how you went with employing any of the tips that Chloe's mentioned today. Have they been useful? Did you find a change in your business when you started posting? Also, leave your handles down below. We'd love to follow you. And thank you so much for joining us again.
I'd love to follow you.
Thank
Leave me your @, everyone. I want to follow you and repost all our students' work.
It honestly makes me so happy when we do.
It is so nice.
It's so
the
nice.
best. And they're like, as I said before, they're always so nice. I've never had a nasty student.
No.
They're the best. You guys are the best.
Thank you. See you soon.